Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unfiltered Tales, episode 15, season 5. I'm your host, Rod, and I'm here today with the one, the only Miss Nikki Allen. How are you doing
Woo-hoo.
today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, that's a loaded question, actually, or a loaded statement. I am originally from Chicago. My day job is a singer. I'm a singer, songwriter,
Okay.
turned film director, turned entrepreneur, turned philanthropist, turned author. So here I am.
Okay, you done got it all then. You everywhere. So she says she's a singer. She's gonna sing her own songs to the soundtrack of her own movie. She's gonna direct her own movie. She has it all. She's a triple threat.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Adina Howard.
Hmm.
Yep, I directed her last music video. And then actually, this book, Loved You, Hated You, was a song on my first album that turned into a screenplay. And we actually had a development deal. And then, COVID hit, life hit. And so I turned it into a book.
Okay, I don't remember Dina Howard's last video. I mean,
No,
only no, I don't. But I'm gonna
no,
look
but
at it
it
later
was
on.
more recent. So it's not back then. But if you Google it, it's called Blasphemy. So that's
I'll check it out. Since you
yeah.
directed that one. So look, y'all. So it look like she doing all this. So this might be my last show. She might hire me to come out there and do some acting.
Heck
I don't
yeah, I got
sing.
you.
I don't do none of
Got
that.
you.
But yeah, we can come star in some movies. But so you already explained it. You author of Loved You, Hated You. From a song to a screenplay. Now as a book. So I'm not sure if that's the answer about COVID, but what transpired this transformation
Into a novel.
to everything from the song to the novel?
I was actually in an abusive relationship a
Okay.
million years ago. And, especially I think it's relevant now because we know what happened with Cassie and Diddy and all of that. And people always say, why did she stay? She could just leave. And it's so funny because I had already been there, done that, literally wrote the book and sang about it, right?
Hmm.
So, but it was inspired due to an abusive relationship I was in. Even though the story is different than mine, the pain, the heartbreak, the having to find myself, having to find a way to get myself out of it. That's all true. So that's what inspired the song.
Hmm.
And then the lyrics really are, I loved you, I hated you, now I'm releasing you. Been there with you before, not gonna do it anymore because I found so much more in store for me. So just that, I'm like, you know what? I could write a whole movie about it. And that's what
Hmm.
I did. Then recently, a publisher, Balboa Publishing, actually called me and they were like, you have a book? And I'm like, we'll turn my screenplay into a book. And so here we are.
Oh, that's okay. All right. So I'm guessing. So you already stated it was about part of. Is it the story is fiction, and how much was rooted in your personal experience?
It is fiction, but just the emotional trauma of it is my truth. But I wanted it to be because it's heavy, but it also has a really beautiful love story within it. And so,
Okay.
everybody wants the love story. So that's really it in a nutshell. It's fiction. It's heavy, but it has such a beautiful love story within it.
Okay. So it has the beautiful love story in it.
Yep.
Got you. So, what emotional truths were you most afraid and most determined to share in this book?
Um, how hard it is to get out. Everybody's like, "Oh, why didn't she just leave?" Like they talked about how Cassie, she stayed with Diddy for however many years and kept going back. And they say it takes 7 times to actually leave an abusive relationship. Um, and me, I'm a very strong person, right? Uh, I would never think I would get caught into a situation like that, but I did, and that's like it's no
Right.
joke. So, it was just it was more of just like, man, this is a situation people just really don't understand. It's like, oh, he hit you, he hurt you, he said that. Why don't you just leave? okay, I would
Right.
if I could, but it's so layered and so much harder than people can imagine.
Understand. So why'd you say, seven? It takes 7 times.
That is not what I say. That is what the clinicians say. So when you
Okay.
deal with, if you go with, like, if you talk to somebody that deals with healing, or a therapist that deal with domestic violence, they say that it takes the person 7 times to try and leave.
Need to talk to somebody about that and ask why they just picked that odd number 7. Just I know
I don't
7
know.
has a meaning behind it, but I just need to find out what that meaning behind it is. And I'm actually Google that in a second.
Please do.
Uh, right. So why do you think so many people stay in these situations where they're being loved and hated?
Oh, because I mean, well, it depends. I'm going to speak from my personal experience.
Okay.
For me, when it happened to me, I had just moved to LA, and then my mom died, and
Sorry to hear
I
that.
had, thank you, and then I had no support. I have no family out here, and I met this guy, and it was all roses and beautiful, and then he flipped, and so, but when he would flip, it was momentary, right? But when he was good, listen, I came home one day from work, and we did not live together, but he had keys to my apartment, and
Hmm.
there were rose petals from my front door all the way to the bedroom. Opened up the bedroom door, balloons and stuffed animals and more flowers.
Hmm.
So, and it's, I'm sorry, we shouldn't be doing that, that won't happen again. That was just, so you get caught into that. And especially for me, it wasn't a daily situation. It wasn't a daily beat down or
Hmm.
daily talking down to, but once is enough. Once is one time too many. And it just lasted for me. It was actually in real life 7 years. So there you go. And I was in that relationship.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
So back to the previous question. So the whole wellnesstherapy.com say, simply put, your brain and attempts to protect you doesn't want you to change. With this in mind, it's not surprising then that it takes most victims of abuse an average of 7 to 12 times of trying to leave before they actually do. So I'm guessing it's your brain saying, hey, the change, I guess, the change keeps you, protects you, but also it says in this article that sometimes leaving also puts you in danger or unprotected.
Correct. That wasn't my story though. That really, I'm only going to speak about what I've been through. I can't speak for other women's truths. But for me, it was just, that was all I had. All I thought who that's all I thought I had, right? And
Right.
then when you have somebody beating you down, telling you, you start feeling like you're not good enough, nobody else is going to want you, that you become isolated,
Right.
so at some point, I had one friend though. I love her for this because I would tell her, "You won't believe what he said to me, or you won't believe what he did to me." And for a while, she was going along with it. And then one day, after a really bad situation happened, she said, "You know what? I have given you all the good advice I can give you. You choose not to take it. You're gonna stay until you're ready to leave." And I heard her. I didn't get mad at her. I was just like, because basically she was like, I don't want to hear it anymore because
Right.
you're choosing to stay there. But I wasn't offended. I really took to heart what she said, and I still stayed. But you know, I you just get kind of stuck. You just get kind of stuck. I was stuck, and and oh my gosh, he came after me with a gun,
Mm.
and yeah, and I called the police. Police met me at the house, and as soon as they pulled out the handcuffs, I'm like, no, don't do it. That's my baby. Like,
Mm.
it's just crazy, right? It sounds, you frown like what? But when you're in that dynamic, it's like, no, don't do that. That's my guy. That's my person. And the police told me, they were like, we searched the car. We didn't find a gun, but that's not to say he didn't have one. And we suggest, ma'am, that you not only file a restraining order, but you do not sleep in this house tonight.
Right.
So, but that's the mind. Like, if that happened today, not happening, it's not gonna happen today, right? But
Right.
I understand, like, and I laugh at myself like that was the craziest thing I think I've ever done. Like here, his sister called me, warned me, get out of the house. He's coming after you with a gun.
Mm,
Police are right there. When are the police ever right there? First of all, but anyway,
right.
police right there. And then I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't arrest him.
Oh man. Well, you kind of get it. Just like I guess a good example of what you just said is just like kind of like a brother and a sister. Like if the sister's being abused, then you can do whatever you want to the guy, but she's going to go back to the point where it's just like I'm not even getting involved no more because
Right.
9 times 10 she's going to start picking him over you, and this like becomes a whole situation. And now you and your sister at odds, and you just like, yo, what do you want me to do?
Right. Exactly. Because she's gonna keep going back. And that's what I did until 7 years later. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. And if I'm real honest, he said it before I did.
Mm, wow.
But it was just crazy. I mean, our last straw was we because different the female in my story, she didn't fight back. She was
Okay.
just getting abused. I fought back. I was a former athlete, so if
Okay.
you put hands on me, we going at it.
Well,
That
you already just told us you from
I'm from
Chicago, so I'm
Chicago,
pretty.
right?
Which
You
I'm
already
like, which
know.
side are you from, South or West? So you know.
So, and he even said to me jokingly years after we were separated, he was like, "That's not fair. You only came with headshots. You don't fight like a girl. No swinging arms. You just headshots." So,
Mm,
but we actually ended up that last fight. We put each other in the hospital, and
damn,
that's when he was like, "We can't do this." It's like, no, we really can't. We shouldn't be doing this.
damn. So
Look
y'all,
at your face.
I'm sitting here like, hold on, y'all drove yourself to the hospital in the same car, or the
No,
ambulance came and got both of you?
the ambulance. So we were cutting up so bad that the neighbors called the cops.
Right,
And when the cops showed up, I opened the door, flung the door open, like, look, and I'm sure I was battered. And they were
right.
like, oh my God, ma'am, would you like to press charges? And I'm like, yes, blah, 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 going off. And then he shows up, he's just as battered and tattered as me. And they're like, oh, sir, do you want to press charges? And he's like, yeah. And then they were like, you both are going to jail. So we were like, no. And then the one officer was like, you both need to go to the hospital because we looked pretty bad. And when the paramedics came, they looked at me, they looked in my eyes with the flashlight, like, yeah, ma'am, you took too many shots to the head. Your eyes are all messed
Damn.
up. So yeah, we both went to the hospital in separate ambulances. Yeah, it was a crazy night.
So,
That was the last fight though.
well, sound like you won, but if the police said, "Damn, you want to press charges?" Like, hold on, let's see the other person first. But
Yeah, he came out and they were like, "Oh, sir, would you like to press charges?" Yeah, it
yeah.
was a mess. It was a mess.
Oh man, but have you ever since that? Have you guys ever seen each other again?
We are still friends today.
Okay,
But he
okay.
lives in a totally different state. Um, and I mean, if I that was 30 years ago, so it was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
People mature. People. He's been married. I've been married. We've had our own separate kids, on and on. And yeah, we're still in touch.
That's my next question. I was going to ask you, like, do y'all have any ties, like a child together, anything?
We do not have any children together. However, we want to hear something crazy.
I'm listening.
So he got a girl pregnant while we were together, and then we broke up. I didn't know. So first of all, I didn't know he got a girl pregnant while we were together. Didn't know she had a baby. All this came out years later when I got pregnant with my daughter, and I go into labor and I'm telling the doctor, we cannot deliver this baby on February 10th. We could do the 9th, we could do the 11th, but not the 10th because that was his birthday.
Okay.
She came on his birthday. So he
Okay.
called me because, like I said, we had been in touch. So he called me. He was like, you didn't call me for my birthday. I said, I was busy. He was like, what? I said, I had the baby. He said, you did not have that baby on my birthday. I said, I did. And he was like, okay. So after he got through that, he goes, what's her name? I said, Naya. And he goes, stop playing, right? I was like, what? He was like, that's my daughter's name. The daughter that he had while we were in a relationship that I didn't even know about, which is how I even
Mm,
found out he had a daughter. Isn't that
wow.
crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely crazy. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more we can go into this, but we hear about your book, Love You and Hate You. Because my next question was like, so was Naya and Naya friends? Do they know each other?
No, they don't. No, not at all. Not
Okay,
at
all right. Because I don't want you to come back and say, yeah, they know each other, and then they got the fight, and it became like a tag team match now or
That's gonna be
something.
my next book, though. No, I'm just like
I mean,
that's a
hey,
good one.
yes, I mean, hey, if you know wrestling, this is like the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian. Like this could be anything out in the LA streets.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. So what does choosing yourself actually look like in real life and not just in theory?
Right. So in that hospital that day, it's a choice. Do we really keep doing this? Is this really that guy? Is this the guy God got for me? I know that's a no.
Right,
So that's where you start doing the work. Like, okay, uh I got to choose me first. I have to first of all figure out, why am I staying in this
right,
relationship? What in me, cuz my mama didn't raise me that way. My daddy didn't raise me that way.
right,
I've my parents, I've never seen them have an argument, let alone anybody put hands on anybody. So this wasn't even in my wheelhouse, right?
right,
So it just came down to, what's missing? Why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you allowing this mistreatment to happen? And so that's when I chose myself. Like, I need to do a deep dive and figure out why me, the one my parents have so hard, they tried so hard to keep me educated and all this other stuff. Never, like I said, never seen any fights. We didn't live in a neighborhood where there was fighting. So
right.
this is new. Why are you, what's wrong? What are you doing? And I realized, go back to, I had lost my mom,
Hmm.
super depressed, family, they had tripped. So I didn't have any support.
Right.
This guy was my lifeline.
You don't have
So
any
now I
brothers and
gotta go.
sisters?
mm, you invite me back for the next show on that one about
Oh,
unfiltered. But
okay.
yeah,
All right.
right now we're gonna say I'm an only child.
Okay.
And but yeah, it was just, Nikki, why are you letting anybody put hands on you, talk to you crazy? Because you've never had that in your life. what
Mm.
why are you inviting this? So I had to do a deep dive and figure out why. And part of it was, I'm out here by myself. This was the guy. But you know what? I was like, you better go find you some other people, because he ain't it. And you'll end up dead or in jail for killing somebody,
Hmm.
and that's not what you came out here to do. So
Right.
let me tell you, it wasn't like overnight, like, oh, okay, I'm back. It took some time. It took years, it really did.
Understand that. So you've worn many hats:
Yes.
songwriter, performer, screenwriter, novelist, philanthropist. How do these creative identities work together?
I don't know if they all do. I think I'm, and this is not to be arrogant, I just think I'm multifaceted. There's so many things that I want to do. And so it's just like, oh, today I want to help people, because that's what I really love to do, is helping people, which is why I started my nonprofit. Singing, that's my passion. Filmmaking is just the stuff that goes on in my head, just needs to come out and I want to see it. So I don't know if they all really work together. It's just one of those things. Oh, today I want to do this. Today I'm going to try that. And that's really what it is.
Well, man, it sounds like you got everything together, and there's nothing wrong with being multifaceted. As long as it's all working and the
Right.
productive. Seems like from everything you've said so far, songwriter, performer, screenwriter, novelist, philanthropist, everything is coming to a head. It's not like, oh, this is not working, so I'm just going to jump to this. So, but everything
Oh,
seems like it's doing what it's supposed to do for you,
yes.
and we we love it. So,
Thank you.
what would you tell someone who's sitting on a powerful story but afraid to release it?
Can I say a bad word?
You can say whatever you want to say.
Get off your ass and go do it. I mean, it's not going to get done with you sitting around talking about, I got this great idea. do something about it. And if I'm real honest, AI is very good at helping you get off your ass.
Right.
Plug in, hey, I want to do XYZ. It's going to help you. So today, and with the internet, with technology the way it is today, there is
Hmm.
no need for anyone to be sitting on anything. You can do it. Look, even if it's like, you know what, I like to sing to ducks. I know that sounds stupid. You know what, it might be 10 people in this world that like to sing to ducks too, and y'all can have a whole situation. Don't let whatever it is you think, oh, I don't know if people are gonna like it, somebody's gonna like it because you like it. And I believe that every thought, every creative thought, for the most part, is God given. So
Hmm.
if God gave it to you, it's not a mistake. Go with it.
Correct. I mean, and like you said, we have the World Wide Web, the internet now. It's not like back in the day where you have to know somebody, know somebody. If I could sing, I could just start singing and just, hey, throw it on YouTube or throw it on Spotify, throw it whatever. Somebody's gonna pick it up and be like, who's that?
Yep.
And we can go from there with it. It's like a
Yep.
lot of people get on you where we have, I guess, the word influencer. A
Yeah.
lot of them get on. I mean, they get on these sites and they do what they do. I mean, I don't want to say they're not funny or anything like that, 'cause I've never seen any of them on stand up. I
Right.
never seen them.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I know for a comedian that probably had to go through those trenches of getting booed off stage and traveling around, is like, okay, this is how you got on, this is how I got on. But I
Right.
don't want to say like they're bad because I've never seen any of them live. So,
Right.
but
But hey, it works for them and they're monetizing, right? So
mhm,
they might be the sit on the couch comedian, not coming to a city near you, but in your city every day that you log in. So, and I'm telling you, look, I've seen TikToks. My son's real good at showing me some crazy TikToks where people just tweak it out, and they got people just sending them gifts and money, and I
mhm,
was like, for what? So if you have a create, this is my advice to you. If you have something creative you're sitting on, stop sitting on it. Get off your ass and go do something about it. Because somebody is going to like it.
yeah. Even Luigi got a couple 100,000 just because women found him cute and was like, "Yeah, we'll send him money." Luigi comes from money. So I was like,
Come
"Okay,
on now. Right.
yeah, yeah,
So,
that's crazy."
right now, the way life is, the way tech is, man, the world is your oyster. It's all about it. Look, if you're not being successful, it's because you're choosing not to be successful at this point. And that's just real talk. Because that where there's a will now, there's
Mhm.
a way. There's a way. There's a
Right.
way. Even if you got $5 to put out for some marketing or whatever, $5 to get you however many clicks. Somebody's gonna click in. So go for it. Just you have to.
Yeah, correct. So it's not only about, loved you, hated you, but also you have how to be a good roommate, how to be a good house guest, and how to be a gracious host.
Yes. Because I've been on all three sides of that, and the other side don't ever act right. So I thought I better tell them about themselves.
Oh man, so we gotta definitely look into those, as far as how to be a good roommate, good house guest, and a gracious host.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I guess it's just one word I could say for everything on there for roommate, house guest, and host is just boundaries. Like this is
But you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because I had here's what actually prompted this book. I had this lady, her and her dude were going through some stuff.
Mhm,
I don't know if he put her out or she left, but she needed a place to stay and she thought, well, I ain't gonna say it like that, but I allowed her to stay on my couch. I'll just say that.
mhm,
And I have one rule: don't touch my
mhm.
music, because I am a music connoisseur, so I have all kinds of music. Don't touch it. You could look at it. Don't touch it. Don't take it. Don't try to borrow it. Nothing. Okay, okay, I got you. No worries. I come in one day and my stuff is kind of askew. Oh, I just thought I'd borrow this one. I didn't think you'd really mind. No, I do mind. I told you. Okay, okay, okay. Then one day she was like, I'm leaving. Well, she left and she left with, the group War, old school group War. I had a like a an unlimited edition of all their stuff, right? She walked out with it. And Sherry, if you're listening, I have not forgotten. And if I see you, we're gonna have words about it. But anyway, I digress. Um but
Oh,
that's what prompted it. But you would think you could
uh,
set the boundaries, but people don't necessarily honor the boundaries, and I really think that I think she thought I was playing. So, like, or it wasn't that serious, it's just some CDs, it's just some music, you know um so I just thought I'd write the book.
okay, so you have that, but and I like this right here, the strikeout, the nonprofit, just strikeout nonprofit, basically, leading through baseball.
Yes.
So, redefines, bold grassroots, soul led and unstoppable. So how'd you come up with strikeout? Don't tell
um,
me you took a bat to his head and you missed. And you just said, what name this shit strikeout.
you read that, huh? No, I'm just like, that's no, I did not. So, my son, as a little leaguer, uh, let me just cut it short. He got really good at playing baseball,
Okay.
and where we are, it's just a lot of daddy ball. But I knew he had some potential because I was a professional athlete, so I kind of saw the same kind of drive and potential. But I don't know baseball, so I
Right.
went and got a job working for um, the Dodgers,
Okay.
and just to see, like, just infiltrate the system to see how does this thing work. And it actually worked out really well. I ended up he started playing for the MLB Academy. He was on their travel team, blah blah blah. But I'm also the person that wants to feed everybody, house everybody, clothe everybody. And I just came up with strikeout. Like, you know what? I know now that I know all these Major League Baseball players, we could start striking out stuff. And so
Hmm.
that's really kind of how it came. I had my first event. I had Nolan Martinez, who played for the New York Yankees, come out, sign balls, and Mayor came and threw out the first pitch. And we raised money, and it was a toy drive, and got a truckload of toys for an organization. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was just that giving and helping is just my core.
Hmm.
And so as I was watching my son play base, my mind is always going. Let's just
Right.
start there. It does not stop. So it was really like, oh, we could just strike that out. Oh, strike. Oh, we're gonna strike some stuff out. And so that's really kind of how that came. And now he doesn't play ball anymore, even after he was got a sports agent and everything. He's like, I don't want to do play baseball. So we're
Okay.
left with strikeout.
I got you. Well, whenever I meet your son, I'm gonna tell him the real story. Be like, this what happened way before you was born. Your mother was swinging bats at people's heads, and she kept missing. So she just said, "I'm gonna call this shit strikeout."
You sound like you've been talking to my best friend. Did he tell you some stuff?
I don't know nobody. I don't know anybody. I just do this. Just have fun with the people. Find out your stories, and we go from there. But so last thing, what message or feeling do you hope every reader walks away after reading your book?
I hope that really I just want people to feel love, because it's like I said, it's at the end of the day, it's a beautiful love story. And I want people to walk away feeling like even through the worst case scenario, love is still available.
Okay. Love is still available. Whether it comes free or you buying it in this world. I mean, before we get to I be damned. Well, that should actually be I be damned today because Shannon Sharp paid 23 million on that love.
Woo! Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
well, look at Diddy. He in jail for all that love. So, you know,
yeah.
I
He'll be home
mean,
shortly though.
yeah, yeah.
He'll be home shortly. I mean, once he get out, I'm telling a true story. Once I get out, I gotta probably buy some stock in Johnson and Johnson because it's going back to mayhem. You're gonna have to. You can't stop now.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Right, yeah. I mean, he all glittery and glistening. I'm like, wow, like what the hell? And the thing is this, in my 43 years of life, I've never finished a bottle of baby oil, and he had tons of them. Like I
I
never
don't know
seen that done.
anyone. I know no one. And we are melanin. I still don't know anyone that has gone through a whole bottle of baby oil. Like, dude, okay.
Yep. Whether it's Johnson Johnson, Equate, the Walmart brand, whatever, like he kept them in business. I mean, I don't even know why they basically tried to seize Johnson Johnson. They don't care. They just selling the product. They don't know what he doing with it.
Right.
But
He's
you
funny.
know, we come to our portion of the show, the I be damn segment. I know we didn't have one last week, but we got one this week, and it says, I fell in love hard with Smokey, a male exotic dancer, and I left my husband of 11 years for him. At first, he wined and dined me, but did things to me in bed that must have been illegal. And then he would powder his nose with cocaine and disappear for days.
Mm.
My husband was fat and dull, but I knew he loved me. The only thing consistent about Smokey is his drug habit. I met him at a bachelorette party. He promised that stripping was behind him and he wanted to settle down. He lied. He says that to everybody for more tip money. I want to go home, but I'm so embarrassed for hurting my husband. And he texts me, "Stay where you are." We have a 9-year-old Rottweiler, and I basically abandoned him too. How do I convince my husband to give me another chance? P.S. I'm pregnant with Smokey's child.
Oh God.
Hubby and I tried for years to get pregnant, so I'm keeping this miracle baby.
Oh
Still
Jesus.
want my hubby back. Please help. And that's this week's I Be Damned. Coke. Smokey used to powder his nose after they were finished. That disappeared for days.
Mm-mm. I mm-mm. I'll be damned. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Hey, that's
I
how it
got
normally
nothing.
goes. Nobody has anything for it. So we have it right here. If you want to reach out to Miss Nikki Allen, you can look at officialnickiallen.com. But where are all your books at besides the website?
Um, Amazon, and if you go to Nikki Allen, just nikkiallen.com, you can purchase it there too. So we
Okay.
got official Nikki Allen and Nikki Allen.
So we're gonna bring Nikki Allen back because we got to find out about these siblings. We're gonna bring her back. I gotta find an open date in September to bring her back. We got to find out about these siblings that she is no longer claiming now.
Mm-mm. What
So,
siblings? Mm-mm.
hey, so I gotta get a ticket out to LA to be in this movie, in this book. Loved you, hated you.
Yeah.
Gotta be in it.
Yes.
So, so, but I forgot who we got next week. I always forget, but I know same time, same place. YouTube, 7 p.m. Unfiltered Tales. Next week I don't remember, but we'll be back with another I Be Damn. And if you ever see Nikki, duck. Thank you for coming. It was a
Thank you for having
pleasure.
me.
It
It was
was a
great. I loved
pleasure.
it.
Same time, same place next week. Oh man.